Ladies and gentlemen, the man, the myth, the legend, the master, the guy, Hideo Kojima is about to announce a new game. Now, this guy is so epic. Like, in my top favorite games of all time, he made Zone of the Enders and Metal Gear, obviously, and both Zone of the Enders 2 and a Metal Gear game. I haven't picked one yet because they're all good. 1, 2, 3, and 4 is heavily underrated. I love them all. I've played them over 100 times. Metal Gear Solid Snake is one of my favorite video game characters of all time. And like, it's the crazy part is my top 5 favorite games of all time. One guy has a spot, takes 2 spots. He made 2 games that are like, that's insane. So he's gonna be announcing a new game. So it's just, oh my god. Let's just go! Hideo Kojima! Let's go! Hideo Kojima's new game will be revealed soon, says Death Stranding dev. Now, we're in March. E3's in June. So we're going to be in April soon. So that's... Well, let's read. Yuji Shinkawa, who designed many of Kojima's characters and mechs, Zone of the Enders! And teased that he's working on something and that an announcement is coming soon. A new Kojima game. Now, renowned video game director Hideo Kojima may soon be ready to announce his next project. Kojima has been relatively thin-lipped regarding his activities since the release of Death Stranding in 2019. Although he's been also quite coy on Twitter regarding what he'd like to pursue in future projects. Horror! I just wanted to say that. I swear to God I should have started with that. Okay, he has specifically referenced the horror titles as an area of interest, which makes sense given the aftermath of the infamously cancelled Silent Hills. He has also developed a close relationship with actor Norman Reedus over the past few years, implying that it may not be a stretch to assume that the pair are working on Death Stranding 2, but possibly something different. I mean, it would make sense why Kojima might just include him in the new game, like, you know, like how Troy Baker's and everything. So, Nolan North is in everything. I mean, Norman Reedus can just be in every Hideo Kojima game, basically. So, I just wanted to bring that up because I yelled like a crazy person earlier. And the thing about that is that when Silent Hills was canceled, I was like, okay, so Kojima is making his own studio. He's going to make his own game. My first thought was like, oh, he's going to make a horror game, you know? It's not going to be Silent Hills because... they don't own the copyright to that, so it's gonna be something. It's gonna be a different type of horror game. But no, not Kojima. E3 hits, and a trailer of one of the weirdest things anybody has ever seen ever plays on screen, and they're like, "Well, that's not." So when it comes to this guy, you have to expect everything. But more importantly, they do bring up a good point, is that it seems like he's wanted to make a horror game for a really long time now. And he might actually be finally getting to that. And that's exciting, you know? I'm on a Resident Evil binge right now, and I'd love for Silent Hill or a Kojima Hills to, Hill-like game, I guess, from Kojima to come out. And yeah, I'm on a horror streak right now. So this is, well, doesn't really matter because the game probably going to come out in like 20 years from now, or 5, 3, or I don't know. But anyways, let's go. One thing can be said with certainty. There are a few directors who fans would like to see at the helm of a horror project more. Kojima revolutionized stealth gameplay with Metal Gear. With the release of Metal Gear in 1987, and his unique style of characters, themes, and over-the-top spectacle could make for an incredible horror experience. In fact, many have already drawn comparisons to Death Stranding and other titles in the horror genre. I haven't played Death Stranding yet, because I was waiting for it to come on PC, and then it came out, and then life happens, basically. And other titles in the horror genre, pointing out that the game's bleak atmosphere and deliberate, slow pacing would create an incredibly tense horror atmosphere if taken further. And Hideo Kojima, it might not be Death Stranding 2, but it's going to be something horror-related. Okay, the news of a potential announcement from Kojima is courtesy of Video Games Chronicle, which references an interview between Yuji Shinkawa and Al Hub. Shinkawa may not be as much of a household name as Hideo Kojima, even though he really should be, because his designs for Zone of the Enders just freaking incredible. But his work on designing the machines and characters in the Metal Gear series is an invaluable part of what made these games so memorable. Shinkawa currently works as part of Kojima Productions and stated that he's currently doing something, and that I could tell you probably that we can announce it very soon. This, in addition to Kojima Productions' job posting in October, seems to signify that the team is already well underway with their next project. I mean, I would hope so. Unfortunately, it's difficult to say with any certainty what the project might be. The only information possible to go on thus far is Kojima's repeated interest in creating a revolutionary horror game. And yeah, it's going to be, I'm hoping, it's Kojima, so never be sure about anything, but I'm hoping it's going to be a horror game. He has stated via Dumpster Fire website that he is watching horror movies to prepare for a project. Norman Reedus also said last year that he was in talks to do other stuff, according to an interview with Wired. Considering Reedus was set to star in the cancelled Silent Hills, it's possible that his future project could be a sequel to Death Stranding with a more of a survival horror angle. But I don't know, given the sales of Death Stranding, even though it did, I don't know, well, I guess. I mean, I don't know. I think Kojima is, because I haven't played the game yet, so like, I don't know if I'm like, yes, I want Death Stranding 2, please, Death Stranding 2. I have no emotional attachment to the game, so from my perspective, from what I heard about the game, I think Kojima is better off just making a new title. I mean, he doesn't need the 2 next to a game to sell it, because he's Hideo Kojima. You just have to go, Spiegel Bagala Baga Hideo Kojima, and then people will just buy it, you know? I'm one of them. So, he stated that he would enjoy attempting to make a smaller and possibly episodic game. I don't know. I hate episodic games, because for me, I just wait until everything comes out and then I play it. I'm not gonna play and wait. I'm not a dog. One can hardly blame him. Since the Metal Gear series, Kojima has been known for making games on an increasingly grandiose scale. Oh, wow, where did I go? Grandiose scale? Have you played Metal Gear Solid? The world is not enough scale for you? War has changed with impossibly complex storylines and in-depth characters. He also frequently tackles the topics of war, nuclear proliferation, grief, loss, and redemption. If he decided to try his hand at making something a little more easily digestible, he has more than earned it. Regardless of the subject matter, Kojima is sure to come up with a compelling way to tell whichever story he wants. And I agree. So the thing I'm taking from this article, basically, if I can just shift to camera mode, is basically that horror. That's what he wants. That's what we want. That's what everybody wants. Unless, I don't know. Personally, well, I can't wish for Zone of the Enders 3, so. And, I guess, horror. Kojima, give us the horror. And, I'm going to end the video with that. So with that being said, what do you guys think the game is going to be like? Do you think it's going to be horror? Is it going to be Death Stranding 2? Or is it going to be a Telltale game? Episodic Telltale game? I have no clue. We're going to find out. So with that being said, for those of you who are watching, wherever you may be in this world, thank you guys for watching. I'll catch you guys in the next video with, I don't know, I'm thinking about making Crash Bandicoot video. So with that being said, take care, have a good night, and I already said that, so I'll shut up.